caught up in this fast life. Every morning night I pray, gotta make it out some way. Put a smile back on my mama face. Yeah, I'm caught up in this fast life. Every morning night I pray, gotta make it out some way. Put a smile back on my mama face. Yeah.
Bro, I think you should talk this time. Don't get shy now, bro.
I know. So
no, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead, man.
Yeah.
You know, today we sponsored by Sky. She covered her shit up though. You know what I'm saying? Freaky might be mad at you. We're sponsored by Skyline Bullies. You know what I'm saying? Skyline Bullies. They got. I don't really mess with dogs, but
they have exotic bullies. Yeah. The little. What's them?
The micros. But they got some amazing dogs. My man Rome got one, man. I said, damn.
Yes.
I might need a dog. After I seen him, he got a Merle.
No shade to them, but no, that's not where we got our dogs from. But it's kind of like the same line, though.
What you mean?
Like when everyone sees my dad's dog, or my, they always ask me where we get them from. So what? I'm saying that's not where we got them from. Because they have the same breed.
Yeah, but Skyline Bullies, check them out.
But that's where you could get them from.
Yeah, that's where you can get them from. You ain't getting no discount either, though. Pay full price like you pay, you know, the other people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, holla at Skyline Bullies on Instagram and tell them I sent you. You might get 1% off.
But Dad, if you need a girl, tell them you my dad. They better give you a percentage off.
Okay, let's get into it. You know, I didn't want to really write too much stuff down. You know, today's guest, I kind of wanted to let him speak, but I seen him on the news. Ro knows him personally. You know.
Yes.
He was incarcerated 32 years.
32 straight years.
Yeah, 32 straight years. Wrongful conviction.
Yes.
Overturned his case. He fought hard. Oh, I'm sorry. Make sure your phones is off, please. Yeah, but 32 straight years. He fought hard. He finally, you know, came home to 2019, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, 2019. Now he's out here fighting for other innocent men, women, and maybe even children.
Right.
But yeah, we got Darrell Jones in the building.
Hey,
welcome, Darrell.
Welcome.
Hey, here with Ro. It's a good gesture.
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome home. I've always said that, but we have to keep saying
welcome home.
2019, it was not long ago, right?
Jumping on planes.
Right. Yep.
Right?
Yeah. So you and I had went down to down south together to do some work on wrongful conviction, incarceration, and things like that.
For women.
Yes, for women, right?
Women.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we got to link, and it was dope because when we linked, we also
down south where?
Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay. What was y'all doing down there? That's when you had that little trip you did, and did you take Kiki to that one?
No,
okay.
that was after that. But we had linked.
Cassandra
it was
as well.
Yes, Cassandra from Mass.
But it was the women's conference.
Right. It was a women's conference for formerly incarcerated women.
Andrea.
Right. You know. Yeah. And then I met Darrell there. Yeah. And I met a lot of amazing women too who were wrongfully convicted or like were doing time on like doing life bid on conspiracy charges for just like not telling on their boyfriends and things like that.
Yeah.
So it was dope. And me and Darrell linked off rip. It was crazy how we connected. But then we later on found out that we knew a lot of people.
Same people.
And family members who was also locked up with Darrell. And
whose family member? Yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So instantly we became just
Vibe. We got to do a lot of things. We hit the State House together. When me and Romel, they hit anything together.
Y'all made noise.
That's a lot of energy for some folks, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Primarily on her own or on my own, you know. But we'll get into that. But we come with a different vibe. So I love when we get to vibe because it's been a while, you know, this COVID and all that. But when we get to vibe, we get to tell our truths. We get to do it without the national anthem behind it. We don't have to bullshit. We don't have to make up nothing. We don't have to sing a song while we doing it. We just tell you the shit. That's the way. There's no commercial. There's no ad. It's just boom. They bombing.
Okay, so you unfiltered like her.
Yeah.
Why?
That's how we met.
I'm just saying because you know she's unfiltered.
No, that's how we met.
Sometimes she can't control it.
No, that's exactly how we met. But I also think that unfiltered doesn't mean not filtering the bad.
Right.
So you know what I mean? We've got water filters and things like that. So I filter the bad from the good,
Right.
but I don't allow the good to have the appearance that it appeared in a robe and it's going to be weak.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good has to fight back, no
Right.
matter how you do it. Look at the Ukraine situation, right? They're good people, but now the citizens themselves that never thought in their lives they're ever going to be in that situation, they're out there trying to save their lives. You feel me? So I fight back in that form, like she does. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Under press.
Oh, you finally taking the jacket off? Because I'm like, God
It's
damn, is
hot.
it winter time? I'm like, shit, what's going on? Are you sick? We might have had to give you a COVID test or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
No more
you
COVID
all right?
for me.
Using my mask.
yeah. You sure?
Nah, I'm
okay.
good.
Okay, I'm just saying because
We just getting comfortable.
it's
that's
like
all.
60 degrees outside. You got a winter jacket and a hoodie on.
We just getting comfortable.
Okay,
That's all.
all right. Okay, making sure. Yeah, so
Yeah, but that's how we started, you know. And I remember with Darrell, to get on how we even were talking about, we met at the State House, so I knew about a little bit about his story and things like that. But then during that conference, we were on a panel, and probation from other states were on that panel. And I remember I stood up when the woman was like, "Oh, sometimes we save y'all by putting you in jail," and I stood up like, "You didn't save me,"
Right,
you know what I mean? And then
Wow.
we got into it.
who said that?
The probation, the lady was a probation officer.
Yeah.
So
She
I,
said sometimes.
Remember
we
that?
say-
I have that video though. Actually, I have that video.
that video
But I
kind of
don't
went viral.
remember-
Like,
This
I
is-
remember
this
you
is a white woman?
responded, and I was like,
no, she was a black woman.
a black woman.
Oh,
a
man.
black sister. She
We'll
was
have to
like
give
from
them
like
that exclusive
Louisiana.
Video. I have that video because
Yeah.
you had jumped up, and I actually have the pictures.
Yeah.
You know me, I jumped out with this camera, and I just took a picture of everything. That's why I can't add no photos. I can't move. I got like 5,000 videos. I'm keeping all that, so I got that moment. That's a good one.
Yeah, and that's when
I remember that.
I stood up. I was like, "Hold on, you didn't save me." And she looked, and she was like, and I had to explain to her, like, you know what I mean? Like, what can you call saving in like different situations? And like someone like me at a very young age going into the incarcerational system, what I witnessed and the things that I see, I didn't see that at home. You know what I mean? I saw other things, but it was just like, what did you save me from? You put me more in harm's way, and a lot of people don't get to know that. And then, like, a lot of the women in the room stood up and, like, spoke to that. So at the end of that, the probation lady, needless to say, came down, gave me a hug, and told me that I opened up their eyes to a lot of things. Yeah. And Darrell spoke up, and he was on the same way as me. I'm like, yo, I like his energy. That's dope, because it's like you said, a lot of people might think that we come off aggressive, but we're passionate because we lived it. It's what happened to us.
Right. So, go ahead.
Well, no. I was gonna. Sorry about that.
No,
call.
no.
That's actually an important call.
It's all okay. I feel special, man.
Shout out to Rashawn Hall running. We discussed that,
yeah.
but that's actually an important call for me.
Okay.
But nonetheless, I just feel like the unity when we met up, the end result of that is that our unity was just a great thing. And in that moment, it was a good moment because there were different classes and there were different people coming, right? There were different people. There were women from everywhere. Yeah. And then there were different groups and sessions, being run. Right. And in each one of those, there was a different experience. And in that experience, you got to see where the other person was coming from. Even though she was representing as though something good she's doing for blacks, she did not understand the matter itself.
Yeah.
So us being there provided an opportunity to say, nah, here's a real life version of what you read about or talking about when you're running the jail.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You can go right now to, Louis Vuitton, and if you work your way up the ladder, you'll be manager. You know what I mean? You'll make it to manager, but you're just managing the store. You ain't got nothing to do with Louis' product. You ain't making it. If they told you to put that purse together, it's a wrap, right? So that's the same way this thing is designed. You know what I mean? That's the way it's designed, and it's good. That's what I wanted her to know from that. Like, it was good, because when you jumped up, of course, to everybody else, that's what they consider us outspoken about, because you addressed it. But you addressed it, I guarantee you, she learned something from that, because it was a big moment. Remember, other people got up. It was
I hope she learned.
No, she did.
No, she did.
She
It was
came up
evident.
after.
They think they punish. I said it before. Punish. That's all they do. They don't get to the root of the problem. They can't. It's hard for them to understand. They can't relate. They're not from the inner city.
But for
most
me,
of
is
them.
when they put people in that position, in certain positions, like he said, in order to make change, lived experience is most important. You could be a person of color and you could come from Dorchester, but we could have lived two different lifestyles. And you can't tell me about certain things. And this is where we get messed up at. So I remember also, this is after we done met up and, you know, joined forces and all that and did a lot of work that we
Y'all was riding out.
Yeah, well, we was putting in work.
Oh, we was riding
We
out.
was knocking down state house doors, all that, and it was dope. But I remember they invited me to speak at a, it wasn't, whatever it was, a rally or a conference, and it was in Boston at City Hall. And then we marched to...
that wasn't when you was with the commission and all of them.
Nah. So we had walked. We went to... we had walked to Northeastern, and it was like thousands of people out there. And they had gave me the mic. And there was, I remember they wanted me to speak because of my experiences and things like that and, you know, whatever. And at the moment, I was like, yeah, I got on the mic. And I remember saying, like, yeah, I could speak on all of this. But what about somebody who did at the time? I'm like, somebody who did almost more, no, not almost, but more than half of my age. And I just gave Darrell the mic. And I remember, like, you had the crowd moving when you spoke.
That's amazing.
I wanted to say, bro, if I could, that
go ahead, you can say
I'm never going to leave on the table that they don't know us, right? So I kind of picked up on that while I was away. And when that door closed at night, you think upon things you wouldn't think you would think upon. And I did.
I know.
And I realized, you know, from the Willie Lynch papers, and I advise people to really go pay attention
to the mic.
Really pay attention to the Willie Lynch papers, right? Because the Willie Lynch papers is the design on how we were going to trap us up, what we were going to go through in the result of them trapping us up. You know, and if you pay attention to that, I never want to give them the benefit of saying, hey, you know what, they don't know where we come from and what we go through when you're the creator of where we're coming from and what we're going through. From bringing crack into the area to building projects. You see what I'm saying? You're the creator of that. You know.
Right.
You created the experience.
Right.
You don't want to be reminded.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would rather say don't know means you're excluded. I'd rather say they don't want to be reminded. That's what the difficulty is about. We're bringing something up.
They don't want to. They don't want you to throw this shit on their doorstep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right.
They're like, oh, hell no, we didn't do that.
You know, that's so true. Because if we on the piano talking about something, we do got gang members and they do need to be arrested, it'd be a whole separate conversation. But when we're like, well, he's a gang member because X, Y, Z, that's true. That's when they don't really want to hear it.
They don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to take accountability.
But
give us the backstory, Darrell. Like, where you from originally?
Well, I'm originally from Chicago, right? You know, so as like everyone, my family migrating from Mississippi, you know what I mean, Memphis, Tennessee, and so on, and coming to Chicago, like most black folks.
Right.
So, you know, transferred here, and during that transfer, you know, say,
what year was that?
Back and forth. So, man, it's early because I done been back and forth, you know what I mean, 70, and, you know, my family's back and forth, just like now, right? So my grandmother was alive, may she rest in peace. You know, she's the hierarchy, and we came this way. Right. And, you know, for better, quieter, you know what I mean, a change, whatever it was about. I'm a kid, you know what I mean, but whatever it's about.
So Chicago was wild back then, too?
Well, of course, you know, the environment is wild. Chicago's not wild because, you know, my grandmother or, say, her sisters, my cousins, I got a lot of cousins that, you know, are in prison and mixed in that whole thing, and, you know, from GDs, the Vice Lords, on down, you know, originals, right? You know what I mean? You know, shout out to Ernest, you know, some of my oldest up there, and, you know, growing up under them. But it was just that change, you know what I mean? Grandmother making the decision, like, this ain't gonna work out. Whatever reason they have to do it. I'm a kid, I got no say in
They need a change,
but
Boston
the change is here, you know what I mean? Plus my father's here. So, you know, my father's actually Portuguese, Cape Verdean. So a lot of people, they just see me as black, and my grandmother is actually Blackfeet Indian, so I'm Indian. You know what I mean? So when you see me and you see the nose or you see different things, you probably always see me with a hat or various ways until you see my hair or you really pay attention. But those are the two cultures for me. So culturally coming here, you know what I mean? I was learning Boston, you know, I'm in New York, but we're back and forth here in Boston, Philadelphia. Those my family's
Philly,
in Philly, you know, so we're always in Philly, like that was an everyday thing back then. You know, you got to remember, I went to prison, man, 18, I'm gone.
Right, 18.
So you know, as far as a life, you see what I'm saying? There's not much. There's growing up. So in between that time, often people ask me, like, what did you do when you were younger? You have to understand the shock. You have to understand the shock I bring up this Ukraine thing because it's relevant. You have to understand the shock of the first time that they're getting a cluster bomb versus another bomb. But if you don't know what a cluster bomb is, you won't know the difference.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was a cluster bomb in my life. So a lot of shit that might have happened when I was younger is wiped out. Believe it or not, like the trauma is much. You know, you have your own trauma in your youth, things are going on, and then you transfer to a trauma that you ain't even expecting. Too much is going on. So I'm in survival mode from 18 to 52. You feel me? So I have to focus on that. So my life is really trapped in there. My youth is in there. My growing up is in there because it's forced upon you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a total different atmosphere in my mind.
You kind of erased not you, but your mind kind of erased a lot of childhood things.
Yeah, because a lot of childhood stuff is trauma too. You know what I mean? It's what you come from. So you have to know my background, but that's trauma too. You know, it's good times because my grandmother, you know, there's a good guider, right? But it's still, you know, what you want to consider to be the hood, the ghetto, whatever it is. At that time, man, I'm on, you know, I'm different places, man. I'm on Bowdoin, you know what I mean? I'm in Hyde Park, you feel me? In Franklin Hill, you know what I mean? Different places. I'm everywhere. We wasn't, you know, separated. We're everywhere, and I'm living damn near everywhere.
So when people ask you, would you consider yourself from Chicago or Boston? Or
I hate to say it, man. No.
I see you got the B hat on.
I ask myself that, right? These are representations of what I feel.
Right.
See, that's the thing. In prison, I can't throw the B on. You might see some prison pictures of me, but you ain't gonna be seeing me just with the B on. Right. So that I own that. That's my representation. When we talk about territorial things, I really do believe in that. It ain't where you from, it's where you at. So whoever mentally, wherever they located at, and they on the page I'm on, I'm really trying to get on that page. But I don't have time for limits. Right. It's gone too long.
No limits.
You know what I mean? So, but if I had to honestly say where I'm from, this would make sense to me, but maybe not to many others. But if you add it up and you go, I got 32 years in prison and I was 18, 35 total, you understand, with these people, and I was 18 when I went away, not even in culture mode till I'm 12, let's just say, right? That I know this is how it's really going down. In that time span, I don't count that because I'm more from prison than I'd be from anywhere.
I'm caught up in this fast life. Every morning night I pray. Gotta make it out some way. Put a smile